Moving on, this is a pretty good chart that shows us the average transaction prices by vehicle type. And you can see here that battery electric vehicles are substantially less expensive than luxury vehicles, but still quite a bit more expensive than non-luxury vehicles. Also, if we adjust it for the size of these vehicles, you would still see that battery electric vehicles are quite a bit more expensive than non-luxury vehicles. This is a bit misleading for the simple reason that there are almost no big, huge electric SUVs available on the market that you can buy, but there are so many non-luxury gas-powered massive SUVs. And these vehicles, of course, skew the averages. ARK Invest did not buy more Tesla stock. This marks the first trading day in 2 weeks without Tesla stock purchases by ARK Invest. Rivian has temporarily paused all deliveries of the R1T and the R1S in Canada due to a software issue. It's unknown when they will resume. Rivian, though, is not telling anyone what kind of an issue exactly it is. And this is only happening in Canada, not in the US. It's probably nothing serious, but it could expand into the US as well. GM just hired a former Tesla executive who is a recognized battery expert. He will be responsible for GM's battery cell strategy and a new end-to-end approach. Kelty's responsibilities will include researching, developing, and investing in new technology and the use of raw materials. However, keep in mind that he did not leave Tesla to work at GM. He did work for Tesla though for 11 years before then. He worked for another company and now he's going to work for GM. Interestingly though, GM's new hiring comes after the automaker backtracked on its all-in on EV strategy to focus on plug-in hybrids instead. Rivian has introduced its two new Standard and Standard Plus battery options. This means you can now buy a new RT1 with 270 miles of range for as low as $66,000 if you include the tax credit, but before fees and taxes. And here from Drive Tesla Canada, you can also see a few more details. For example, this one will give you 315 miles of range. Tesla is now approved to deploy adaptive headlight features to Model S and X vehicles in Europe. We have seen this for the Model 3, but now it is coming to the Model S and X. Elon replied with exactly to this post: Elon is doing everything right. I'm not saying this because I am an Elon fan. All those people complaining about Elon right now are people who follow Elon because they want Elon to make money for them, nothing else. The picture is bigger than you think. The US fails FSD engineering and stocks don't matter anymore. Elon sees this picture and is trying to fix not only your money, but also your country and everything else. And Elon has been posting a bit in the last 24 hours as well. He says that in a few months, he will discontinue the usage of his phone number and will only use X for text and audio or video calls. Elon, I think, is quite focused on X. I think some people might have been slightly upset with Elon that he saw this interview come out and then immediately after it comes out, he's watching it. Some might have an impression that he's not really working. But if you think about it, this is extremely beneficial to X. So he is working, just maybe not on Tesla. When there's a huge political story unveiling, he actually reposted this interview twice, and it got 132 million views on X alone. Now, if you are going to watch this 2-hour interview, I felt slightly betrayed when I watched it. Nothing to do with anything specifically about whoever was being interviewed or anything like that, because you sort of know what you're getting yourself into. But the start of the interview is quite interesting because he says, let me give you a 30 to 60 second history lesson, basically, to give you more context, but he goes on for 30 to 45 minutes just going through history, basically. If you want the Russian president to be your history teacher, definitely do not skip the first 45 minutes. Did you see this? Hertz pauses plans to buy electric vehicles from Polestar this year. This is due to the collapse in resale values last year. In 2022, Hertz agreed to buy 65,000 Polestars over 5 years. This one is from Wednesday. Elon clearly is not happy that the CEO of Lucid got paid quite a bit of money despite Lucid actually being very far away from all-time highs. It's actually super close to all-time lows. In the meantime, a federal judge on Wednesday dismissed a lawsuit accusing Apple of overpaying the CEO, Tim Cook, by tens of millions of dollars. The judge said Apple described its pay methods and detailed compensation tables in his 2023 proxy statement precisely. Also, him not being involved in politics is probably helping him win this case. While we had problems with inflation over here, China currently is dealing with deflation. I'll keep an eye on this going forward. Can you believe it? It now has been 12 years since the original Model X prototype has been unveiled. The Engineering Explained YouTube channel just did a Cybertruck review, and it's a bit of a mixed bag, but in the end, he does like the truck.
Sails along the side there, going from the C-pillar back, actually adds 25% to the torsional stiffness of this vehicle. It is an extremely stiff vehicle. Tesla Engineering says it's about 3 to 4 times stiffer than the F-150. Why it doesn't have a yoke, they say, well, when you're off-road, you want to be able to grab the steering wheel anywhere. And I agree with that. There's no spare tire. Like what? A Ford Maverick, a tiny little Ford Maverick has a full-size spare. This does not feel like a car to drive. This feels like a truck. No, it doesn't have that whole body shake because it's a very rigid truck, but it most definitely feels like a heavy truck when you're driving it. Oh, let's get some giant windshield wiper actuation. Oh my. Oh, it kind of like sprays out all across that thing. That's kind of cool. It's a little, man, it's a little squeaky, but that is a giant windshield wiper. I love the way Tesla's regen braking feels. Very Tesla-like, feels very familiar in that way. This feels like a truck. Is it really responsive? Is it really good? Is it really Tesla-like? Yes. Did they do a good job? Yes. It still feels like a truck. You can't mask the fact that we're at almost, 7,000 pounds or 6,500 pounds. It's not extraordinary, though it looks very different and got all this hype, right? So it's like meeting a celebrity and that, like, they're just regular people. They're cool. They've been very successful. They did a good job. So did Tesla with this product. But when you meet it, it's not this like otherworldly experience. It feels familiar, feels good. I like it. Think it's a cool truck.
And if you not only like that Cybertruck, but also this video, make sure to hit the like button right now. That helps with the YouTube algorithm. And I will see you in tomorrow's episode. Thank you so much for watching.